So I was at a meeting today for all of our principals when I got an alert that I needed to call the school. One of my assistant principals said that we were going on lockdown because a weapon had been found on site. So I just want to say, first of all, that I'm so proud of the way that our staff handled this today. We talk, especially with the recent Parkland shooting and the things that have been in the news about guns on campus. We talk about see something, say something, and we talk about our protocols that we would go through when a situation like this happens. We actually just practiced a lockdown drill last Friday. So I really want to commend our teacher, Coach Gibson, who saw something and said something and alerted administration, and our assistant principal, Candy Hunt, who followed through with our protocols to search this student. And because of those two things, we maybe avoided something tragic today.
Do you know how this kid got in?
We at this time don't. We're checking cameras and looking to see if we can see how this young man got through our scanning protocols. As you can see, we have a pretty big campus. There's a lot of doors. We only have one entrance during the day, though, so we're not sure how this young man got in at this time.
How far into the school did he get?
I'm sorry, who was asking the question? So Mr. Gibson is a PE teacher, and so he noticed this young man, who was one of our former students, was out of place, and so that's when he alerted the administration to come remove him. And so the administration immediately went to the gym and brought him to the student resource office.
And where was the gun discovered, in the gym or?
No, the young man had the weapon in a backpack that he was still wearing. So once we went through our protocol to search the student, he initially started to comply, then immediately dropped the backpack off of his back and ran out of the school. It wasn't until after the young man had fled the school and a couple of our officers had pursued him that Ms. Hunt continued with her search and found that there was a weapon in the backpack, and she immediately made the right decision to put the school on lockdown.
You know, I was just doing my job. I noticed the student hadn't been at school in a few days. He's a student I kind of keep my eye on every once in a while. My radar's always up when he's in the gym. And just thought something was off the way he was acting, and I called an administrator, and she said, yeah, he's definitely not supposed to be at the school. And so they immediately came down, and we went and talked to him and got him, and they took him to Mrs. Hunt and to the SRO office, and that's how it went down.
Obviously, you saw somebody that you thought was out of place, not knowing that he had a gun in his bag. How scary is that, thinking, you know, what could have happened?
You know, it's like they already all said. I mean, it is scary to know that he had a gun in his bag. He wasn't acting in a way that he was going to use a gun, I didn't think. You know, we all get a feel for the kids and we're around them a lot. I didn't think there was that immediate danger of any kind just from knowing the kid myself. But, you know, hindsight's 20/20, so, you know, anything could have happened.
I was escorting a visitor out of the building, came into the main office, noticed a smell of marijuana, and so I went into the SRO's office, and immediately our protocol is to search the student. We don't want drugs on campus, and so I was talking him through it. I got Mel to come and help me do the search. As I was putting on my gloves and walking him through what was about to happen, he was very cooperative. He said, you can search me, I don't have anything on me. So at that point, I asked him to stand up and empty his pockets, and I was going to check the bag. He stepped towards the desk to empty his pockets, and then he ran out the door. Our SROs went to see, but he was already down the street before we could catch him. So at that point, I came back in, I searched the bag, pulled out a sweatshirt, noticed the gun, pulled it out and gave it to our SRO, Officer Beaver. From that point, they looked up the student's address and went to see if he was at his house.
Did he say anything?
He did not. He did not say anything other than the smell was coming from maybe his sister had driven him to school, and he put a jacket on that was in the car. We had no idea that there was a gun even going to be involved.
All right, guys, maybe one more question.
Are there new
y'all are getting a new security system that's in the works. Anybody want to address that?
Camera system.
Tim.
Tell us how maybe crucial that could have been if it was implemented earlier or will be in the future in possible incidents.
Yes, sir. We're working on security measures all across the school district. Here, particularly at Grant, some of the things that we're working on are upgraded surveillance system, which is high definition IP visual on camera system. It will encompass all the exterior, all the main hallways, common areas, something that we're kind of lacking in the schools presently with the old systems. But that is an upgrade that we have projected here at Grant here in the upcoming month, 2 months for an installation. We also have bond money for secured entries, and Grant being one of those schools, which will help with diverting all visitors that come to the school directly into the office after they have been buzzed in. And then from that point, they can't go any further until we, again, give them access to go into the school after they've been properly vetted. So that will be in combination with our visitor management system and other measures. There's a slew of things that we're working on.
So the cameras will happen first, and the other things are going to happen a little bit further down the line?
Correct. So like secured entry, there's a little bit longer of a design phase. And then when the bond funds drop for specifically a grant, then we'll move forward on that for the secured entry. But we're working right now in the planning phases, drawing it up with the architects, moving forward on the paperwork. So when the bonds are there, we'll push forward and make that happen here at Grant and the rest of the schools that are affected by the bond.
And I think it's really important to hear in what Tim's saying that we are really grateful to the voters who approved the bond, because the 2016 bond is what's making these secure entrances possible, not just at Grant, but in all of our schools that don't have those entrances. We're just there has been such great teamwork in OKCPS today, and I want to congratulate Frederick, our principal here, on the great work that his team did without him here. Like, that is the mark of a great leader, is somebody who trains their team to know what to do, even when they aren't in the picture. So, kudos to U.S. Grant. Everyone was safe. I ran into some teachers in the parking lot afterwards, and they told me that their administrative team had made them feel safe and well taken care of during this whole incident, which could have been really scary for them. And I'm so proud of them for that.